My stomach growled, a rude counterpoint to the chirping crickets outside. Rent was due tomorrow, and my bank account was a desolate wasteland. That's when the phone rang. I glanced at the caller ID. It was Sam, an old high school friend I hadn't spoken to in years. Curiosity piqued, I answered. Tony. Long time. No see. Sam's voice crackled through the line. Listen, I've got an offer you might be interested in. My heart sank. Offers from old acquaintances usually meant trouble. What kind of offer? I asked cautiously. There's a job opening at my uncle's gas station. Night shift only, but the pay's decent and the hours are flexible. You're looking for work, right? Yeah, I could use the work, I admitted reluctantly. Great. Can you swing by tomorrow evening? I'll text you the address. It's out in the middle of nowhere, but it's not too far from town. I agreed, though uneased gnawed at me. The thought of spending nights alone in a remote gas station didn't exactly fill me with excitement. The next evening, I found myself navigating winding country roads, guided only by the faint glow of my GPS. The gas station appeared suddenly, its neon sign flickering with half-hearted enthusiasm. The air was thick with the scent of gasoline. Sam greeted me with a tired smile and introduced me to Michael, the elderly owner of the gas station. Michael's handshake was firm, his gaze piercing. Tony, right? Michael's voice was gruff yet strangely comforting. Glad you could make it. Sam's spoken highly of you. I nodded, unsure of what to say. Let's get inside, Michael gestured towards the entrance. We'll discuss the details over a cup of coffee. Inside, the gas station was a time capsule of forgotten years, cracked linoleum floors, shelves stocked with dusty merchandise, and a flickering fluorescent light that cast eerie shadows on the walls. Here's the deal, Michael began once we were seated at a small table by the window. Night shift only. You'll handle the register, restock shelves, and keep things tidy. But there are rules you must follow. They're for your safety. Michael's eyes held a haunted glint as he handed me a thick instruction manual. Read it cover to cover, he rasped. Don't say I didn't warn you. The wind howled like a banshee outside, and my teeth chattered as I flipped through the pages. Each page held a chillingly specific rule. Don't open the abandoned storage room. Avoid looking directly into the security cameras after midnight. Leave the radio off. Always keep the back door locked after sunset. Only use the service exit in emergencies. Michael had left me with a set of keys, a list of tasks, and a sense of foreboding that clung to me like a second skin. By the time the last sliver of sun dipped below the horizon, I was a ball of nervous energy. Every creak of the wind-blown sign outside sent shivers down my spine. As midnight approached, the restroom light began to flicker, casting unsettling shadows that danced across the tiled floor. I rubbed my eyes, trying to shake off the growing unease. Then, the radio sputtered on, a burst of static followed by a mournful country song. I scrambled to turn it off, heart hammering against my ribs. Was it a malfunction, or something more? Help me, a voice whispered from outside, barely audible over the wind. I looked up and saw a silhouette of a young woman standing by the gas pumps, her figure blurred in the darkness. Without thinking, I rushed outside, calling out into the night. Hey, are you okay? The wind howled in response, carrying away her voice like a fleeting memory. The silhouette wavered and vanished, leaving me standing alone in the cold. Just as quickly as the woman disappeared, the phone on the counter began to ring. A crackling voice, filled with static, echoed in the receiver. Get out of there, kid, the voice rasped. They'll drive you mad just like the rest. They took them all, one by one. My blood ran cold. Who are you? I stammered. Alfred Rivers, the voice replied. Used to work here. This place ain't what it seems. They feed on fear. Leave now, or you'll be next. A long, mournful howl ripped through the night, sending shivers down my spine. There they are. Alfred whispered. Hang up, hide under the desk. Don't make a sound. Panic seized me as I obeyed. The phone clattered to the floor. Clawing sounds and guttural growls filled the air as something lumbered closer. It sniffed around the counter, its fetid breath washing over me. Then, blessed silence. It was gone. I remained hidden, my mind racing with fear and confusion. How would I survive until morning? Trembling, I peeked over the edge of the counter. The room was empty. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drum solo against the backdrop of the eerie silence. The gas station appeared empty, but I knew I couldn't stay. My hands shook as I fumbled for the keys to the service exit, my only hope for escape. With each step towards the door, dread clawed at my insides. The ominous silence was shattered by a sudden noise behind me, and then the lights abruptly went out. Panic surged through me as I stood frozen in the darkness, straining to hear any movement. That's when I heard it, a low, menacing growl, echoing through the air. My heart pounded in my chest as I fumbled for my phone, fingers shaking as I managed to illuminate the space around me. There, in the dim glow of the screen, stood a creature that defied all reason. A half-man, half-wolf hybrid, its eyes gleaming with feral intensity. I staggered back, my mind racing with fear and confusion. Just as the creature advanced towards me, the radio crackled to life, blaring static and music. The sudden noise startled the creature, buying me precious seconds. Seizing the opportunity, I sprinted towards the door, adrenaline coursing through my veins. The creature gave chase, its footsteps thundering behind me. As I reached the edge of the gas station, a car screeched to a halt beside me, headlights blinding in the darkness. Jump in, a voice shouted urgently from inside the car. Without hesitation, I flung open the door and dove into the passenger seat. The car peeled away from the gas station with a screech of tires, leaving the creature snarling and clawing at the asphalt behind us. In the safety of the car, I glanced at the driver. His face was tense, eyes fixed on the road ahead as he navigated through the night. We drove in silence, the gravity of what had transpired hanging heavily between us. He dropped me off at a nearby convenience store without a word, disappearing into the night as suddenly as he had appeared. The next day, in the daylight hours, I returned to the gas station to retrieve my car. My hands trembled as I handed the keys to the cashier. Taking a deep breath, I gathered the courage to ask her about Alfred Rivers. He used to work the night shift here, she replied solemnly, handing me a photograph. He disappeared about 2 years ago. My breath caught as I stared at the photograph. It was him, the same driver who had rescued me last night. Questions raced through my mind, but before I could ask more, the cashier added, "Be careful. Some things aren't meant to be understood." Her words echoed in my mind as I left the gas station, my thoughts consumed by the mysteries of that night and the enigma of Alfred Rivers. What had driven him to save me? And what secrets lay hidden within the shadows of that remote gas station?